They say silence speaks louder than words, but have you ever wondered what happens when that silence ends? What's your next move? Because let's be real, this is where most people fumble after no contact. The spotlight is on you, and every decision you make now matters more than ever. You've held your ground, stayed disciplined, and created space for her to feel your absence. But here's the truth. The no-contact phase was just the beginning. Now, the real game begins. This is the moment where your next moves can either solidify everything you've worked for or undo it entirely. In this video, we're breaking down the calculated, unexpected moves that speak volumes without trying too hard. One that will leave her both curious and captivated. Buckle up, because this is where the power shifts in your favor. Let's dive in. Number 1, become a better. Become a better you. You, after no contact, the first move you can make is the one she won't see coming. Become the version of yourself she never expected during this time. Focus on personal growth, not as a strategy to win her back, but as a commitment to yourself. Dive into your fitness routine with renewed purpose. Pick up a skill you've always wanted to learn, or rediscover a passion that once brought you joy but has been collecting dust. This isn't about creating a spectacle for her to notice. It's about becoming someone you respect and admire. Stoicism offers profound wisdom. Here it reminds us to focus on what we can control: our actions, our mindset, our choices. Imagine a calm, steady stream flowing through your life, no longer disrupted by external events or emotions you cannot change. That's the power you hold when you take charge of your growth. You're not waiting for her approval or anyone else's validation. Your transformation is your own, let's say. Before no contact, you used to complain about not having enough time to get fit. Now you've turned those words into action, hitting the gym consistently, and building strength not just in your body, but in your discipline. Perhaps you've started reading books that challenge your thinking, or you've taken up a hobby like photography, cooking, or playing an instrument. These changes might seem small, but they accumulate when the moment comes, and she sees you again. She won't recognize the person standing in front of her. Not because you've changed superficially, but because you've become someone who thrives independently. This quiet transformation is what Stoics call the ultimate form of power. Self-mastery. You're no longer reacting to the loss or the silence. Instead, you're directing your energy toward building a life that's fulfilling and meaningful. The move she won't expect is the strength and peace that radiates from you when you no longer need her to feel whole. That's the kind of energy that makes people stop and take notice. Not because you sought their attention, but because you've become something rare, someone who's truly in control of themselves. Number 2, keep her guessing. Let me tell you something. Keep her guessing predictable is the quickest way to lose the advantage you've built during no contact. If she reaches out, don't rush to lay all your cards on the table. Sure, it's tempting to catch her up on everything you've been doing, but resist that urge. Keep a little mystery alive. There's something magnetic about a person who doesn't overshare, someone who leaves just enough unsaid to spark curiosity. The Stoics believe that self-restraint is a form of strength. Marcus Aurelius often reminded us that true power comes from mastering our impulses in this situation. Your impulse might be to explain yourself to prove how much you've grown or how productive you've been. But real confidence, real change, isn't something you need to announce. It's something she should sense without you saying a word. For example, she sends you a text, "Hey, how have you been?" Instead of spilling out every detail about your recent gym routine, your new project, or you've been hanging out with friends, you keep it light. You say, "I've been good, staying focused on a few things. What about you?" That's it. No over-explaining. No giving her a window into your every move. She'll start to wonder, what has he been up to? What's different about him? Curiosity is incredibly powerful. It's like a spark that reignites the intrigue she once felt about you. If you've truly been working on yourself during the no-contact period, your actions and demeanor will naturally reflect that you won't need to brag about it or seek her validation. Your growth will speak for itself. Remember, mystery doesn't mean playing games or being deceptive. It's about valuing your own story enough to share it on your terms, not all at once, and not because you're trying to impress her. When she starts to sense the quiet confidence you've built, she won't know what to expect next, and that unpredictability is what keeps things interesting. So take a step back and trust in the work you've done. Don't be so eager to explain yourself, as the Stoics might put it. Your silence and restraint are a reflection of your inner power. Leave her wondering and let that curiosity draw her closer to you. Now pause for a moment and think about this. How often do you feel the need to explain yourself to prove your worth or accomplishments to someone else? Reflect on whether those moments stem from genuine confidence or a need for validation. Sometimes less really is more, and in this case, a little restraint can go a long way. I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. How do you practice self-restraint in your own life? Leave a comment and share your perspective, or just type "restraint is power." Let's keep going on this journey together. Number 3, walk in with quiet confidence when the time comes to walk in. With quiet confidence, reconnect. You have to understand that the most powerful move isn't about what you say. It's about who you are when you show up. You don't need rehearsed lines or over-the-top gestures to make an impact. The most surprising and effective thing you can do is to let your energy speak for itself. Picture this. She's expecting uncertainty, or maybe even desperation, but instead she's met with someone who is calm, collected and centered. That's the move she won't see coming. Think about it. True confidence doesn't scream for attention. It's in the quiet assurance of your presence. It's the way you hold yourself, the way you listen without rushing to speak, and the way you seem completely at ease with whatever unfolds. This is where Stoicism comes in. At its core, Stoicism teaches us to anchor ourselves internally, to find strength within, rather than seeking it from the approval of others. When you approach her after no contact, embody that strength, be the unshakable version of yourself, someone who's in control of their emotions, someone who radiates calmness. Imagine this scenario. She might expect awkwardness or a flood of emotions when she sees you again. Instead, she's met with a version of you that feels different, stronger, more grounded, and completely at peace. You're not there to prove anything or to win her over with words. You're simply showing up as someone who knows their worth and isn't shaken by the outcome. That kind of presence is magnetic, and it shifts the dynamic in a way she won't expect. Let me give you an example. Say you're meeting her at a coffee shop or running into her at an event. Instead of diving into an intense conversation or trying to steer the interaction, let it flow. Naturally, be present. Maintain steady eye contact and truly listen when she speaks. When you do respond, keep it simple but thoughtful. There's no need to explain your silence or justify your past actions. Your calm, confident demeanor already says everything she needs to hear. It conveys that you've grown, that you're someone who can hold their own, even in challenging situations. This is how Stoicism plays a role in relationships. It's about showing that you're not defined by external circumstances. Whether she's warm, distant, or unsure, it doesn't affect your internal peace, and trust me, that level of self-assuredness is something she won't expect, but it's exactly what will leave a lasting impression. So when the time comes, don't worry about the perfect words or making some grand statement. Just be there as your best, calmest, and most grounded self. That's the move that makes her pause, makes her wonder, and ultimately makes her see you in a whole new light. Number 4, talk less. Say talk less. Say more when you finally speak to her again. Don't let it be just another typical conversation you've had time apart, and that time is valuable. Use it as an opportunity to show that you've grown, that you've reflected, and that you've cultivated a deeper sense of yourself when you talk. Make it count. Avoid falling into the trap of shallow chit-chat or overly emotional pleas. These things often come across as desperate or ungrounded, and they don't convey the kind of change that sparks genuine interest. Instead, focus on having meaningful, purposeful discussions. Bring up things that reflect the depth of your thoughts and the lessons you've learned, for example, rather than saying something generic, like "I've missed." You consider sharing something more thoughtful during our time apart. I've realized how important clear communication is, and it's something I've been working on. The Stoics teach us that words are powerful, and they should never be wasted. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Let your words be precise and unadorned." This doesn't mean you have to be robotic or cold. It means your words should carry weight. Speak with intention if you're reconnecting. Let her see that you're not just filling the silence for the sake of talking. Show her through your words and your actions that you've used this time apart to grow and improve yourself. Imagine this. You've been silent for weeks, maybe even longer. She's likely curious, maybe even wondering what's changed when you finally reach out and your words come across as confident, calm, and grounded. It's a move she won't expect. It's not about trying to impress her with fancy words or dramatic gestures. It's about showing that you've spent time with yourself, that you've developed a stronger sense of who you are and what you stand for. This is where the element of surprise lies, not in being flashy or overly emotional, but in being centered and intentional. She might have expected you to either beg for attention or stay silent forever. But instead, you present a version of yourself that is calm, composed, and thoughtful. That's a version of you she won't forget. What do you think about this approach? What kind of impact do your words have when you speak? Are they intentional and meaningful, or do they sometimes fill the silence without purpose? Consider how shifting your approach could change the dynamic in your relationships if this concept resonates with you. I encourage you to leave a comment below. Share your thoughts or simply type, "I choose my words wisely." Let's create a space where we can all learn and grow together. Surprise her with kindness. Number 5. Surprise her with kindness. Kindness is one of the most powerful and unexpected moves you can make after a period of no contact. Think about it when someone pulls away. Most people either retaliate with anger, indifference, or more games. But you're different, and that difference is what will set you apart. The key here is that your kindness shouldn't feel like a strategy to win her back. Instead, it should be an authentic reflection of your character and the self-respect you've cultivated during this time apart. Imagine this: after weeks of silence, you notice she's mentioned a challenge she's facing or something important happening in her life. Rather than ignoring it or making it about you, you take a small, thoughtful step. Maybe you send a quick message congratulating her on an accomplishment, or leave a supportive comment on something meaningful to her. It's not overbearing, it's not pleading, it's simply you demonstrating that you've grown into someone who values integrity over petty games. As Seneca wisely put it, wherever there is a human being, there is an opportunity for kindness. This is your chance to embody that philosophy. Kindness doesn't mean weakness. It doesn't mean lowering yourself or chasing after someone who may not deserve your attention. Instead, it's a quiet strength, a way of showing that you're above the need to manipulate or play games. She won't expect this move because it's rare in a world where people often react emotionally or try to prove a point. True kindness is a shock to the system. It leaves a lasting impression because it says, "I'm secure in myself and I don't need to prove anything." That kind of confidence and self-respect is magnetic. Here's an example. Let's say her birthday has passed during the no-contact period. Most people would ignore it, thinking that acknowledging it might make them seem desperate. But what if a week later you sent her a simple message? "I just realized I missed your birthday. I hope it was a great one." You deserve that. It's thoughtful, it's kind, and it's not attached to an expectation of a response. It's simply you showing her who you are. Stoicism teaches us to focus on what we can control: our actions, our emotions, and how we present ourselves to the world. Your decision to lead with kindness isn't about how she might react. It's about staying true to the values you've cultivated. It's about proving to yourself, not to her, that you're someone who operates from a place of integrity and calm strength. She might be taken aback by your move. Maybe she'll feel a wave of curiosity, or even admiration, because you've chosen a path most wouldn't take. But here's the beauty of it: whether or not she reaches out or feels drawn to you again, you've already won you. You've maintained your dignity, protected your peace, and shown the world and yourself that you're someone worth knowing. That's the kind of energy that truly changes the game. Number 6. Set clear, set clear. Boundaries, boundaries. Boundaries are essential in any relationship, but especially after a period of no contact. When you re-engage, it's not just about what you say or do. It's about the energy you bring. Show her that while you genuinely care, you also respect yourself deeply. This isn't about being cold or detached. It's about demonstrating a sense of self-worth that commands respect. Think about it. If you don't respect yourself enough to set limits, how can you expect someone else to respect you? A Stoic man understands this deeply. He's not driven by fear of losing someone or by a need to prove himself. Instead, he's guided by principles, one of which is protecting his peace of mind. Saying no when it's necessary isn't an act of rejection. It's an act of self-preservation and clarity. Imagine this: after a long silence, she reaches out, testing the waters perhaps to see if you'll drop everything for her. But instead of falling into old patterns, you respond differently. Maybe she suggests something that doesn't align with your values or priorities, and instead of bending over backward, you politely but firmly decline. You're not rude, you're calm, collected and unwavering. That's the move. She won't expect. She'll notice the shift in your demeanor, and it will intrigue her, because it's a version of you she hasn't seen before. Stoicism teaches us that we can't control other people's actions, but we can always control our own. By setting boundaries, you're not trying to manipulate or play games. You're simply honoring yourself, and in doing so, you create an environment where mutual respect can grow. When she sees that your boundaries come from a place of strength, not stubbornness, she'll feel the difference. It's not about being distant. It's about being decisive. And believe me that quiet confidence is far more powerful than any grand gesture you could make. So when the time comes, remember this: boundaries aren't walls to keep her out. They're the foundation of a healthy, balanced connection. And when you approach it with the calm wisdom of a Stoic, she won't just see it, she'll feel it. If you've made it this far, take a moment to pause and reflect. Boundaries, as we've discussed, are a form of self-respect and clarity, not confrontation or distance. Think about how this applies to your own life and relationships. Are you setting boundaries that honor your values and protect your peace of mind? We'd love to hear your thoughts. Leave a comment, sharing how you approach boundaries or what resonated with you most from this section. And if you're not sure what to say, just type, "I honor myself by setting healthy boundaries." Let this be your affirmation, a reminder that self-respect is the cornerstone of meaningful connections. Number 7. Take it slow. Let's talk about something most. Take it slow. People get wrong after a period of no contact. The temptation to rush back in to fix things immediately, or to pick up where you left off without a second thought. Here's the thing. This isn't about speed. It's about strategy. If you want to truly make an impact, the move she won't expect is patience. Take a moment to breathe and let things unfold. Naturally resist the urge to flood her with messages or to plan some grand gesture. Instead, step back and remind yourself of what the Stoics teach us. Hurry brings failure, measured steps, thoughtful action. These are what lead to better outcomes. Picture a sculptor working on a masterpiece. They don't rush to chisel away large chunks. They refine slowly, intentionally. That's how you need to approach this. Let's say you've been out of contact with someone you care about, and suddenly she reaches out. Most people would jump at the chance to respond instantly, to pour their feelings out. But instead of rushing to reply, take a moment, consider how you feel, what you want to say, and what message your actions will send. A calm, composed response shows her that you've been grounded and secure during this time apart. And trust me, that's far more intriguing than desperation or eagerness. When you take it slow, it signals strength and self-control qualities that naturally draw people in she'll take. Notice, because your calm approach contrasts with the impulsiveness she might be expecting, and here's where Stoicism comes in. Again, patience isn't passive, it's an active choice to value the long game over the short term. By practicing patience, you're showing her that you're not trying to force anything. You're confident enough to let things evolve as they're meant to. So the next time you're tempted to dive back in too quickly, remember this. You're not in a race. The best things, just like the best relationships, don't come from rushing. They come from a steady, composed approach. That's what she won't expect, and that's what will set you apart. Number 8. Let your life speak. Speak after a period of no contact. You don't reach out with grand gestures or dramatic declarations. Instead, you let your life speak for itself. Picture her scrolling through her feed or hearing through the grapevine that you're doing well. Not because you told her, but because your actions make it undeniable. This is the move she won't expect. And it's also the most powerful one you can make. You see, when you focus on yourself, on building a life that's fulfilling and exciting, you naturally radiate a kind of energy that people find irresistible. It's not about trying to prove anything to her or anyone else. It's about living with purpose. Actions, as they say, always speak louder than words. When she sees you thriving, hitting the gym, excelling at work, pursuing hobbies you're passionate about, that's when she starts to notice. Not because you told her you're thriving, but because you're genuinely living it. The philosophy teaches us that it's not about appearances or external validation. It's about what you do consistently, day in and day out. Marcus Aurelius once said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one your progress, your growth, your focus. Those are the things that speak volumes." Without you needing to say a word, the Stoics believe that virtue lies in action, not in boasting or appearances. So let your progress be the proof. For example, instead of texting her to say, "Look at all I'm accomplishing," let her notice on her own. Maybe it's a mutual friend casually mentioning your recent success, or she stumbles upon a photo of you out with friends looking happy and confident. This approach is subtle yet incredibly impacting. It's a move that shows strength and self-respect by thriving in silence. You communicate that you're not sitting around waiting for her to come back. You're living your life fully, and that's attractive. It's unexpected because most people react impulsively, chasing validation or trying to win someone back with words. But you've chosen the Stoic path, grounded, deliberate, and focused on what you can control, your own growth. So let your actions tell the story. Let your life show her that you're doing more than fine without her. And if she comes back around, it won't be because you begged or chased. It will be because your energy, your progress, and your confidence naturally drew her in. Number 9, stay calm. No matter what, stay calm. No matter what. After a period of no contact, her reaction might catch you off guard. She could be emotional, distant, or even seem indifferent. It's natural to wonder what's going on in her mind, or to feel tempted to react impulsively. But here's the thing. This moment isn't about trying to predict her every move or over-analyzing her behavior. This is your opportunity to show composure, the kind of steady, grounded demeanor that speaks volumes without you having to say much at all. Let's take a page from the Stoics. They taught us the importance of focusing only on what is within our control. Think of Marcus Aurelius, who reminded himself daily that he couldn't control how others acted, only how he responded. The same principle applies here. Her response, whether she's warm, cold, or somewhere in between, is entirely outside your control. It's her story to write, but your calmness, your ability to stand firm and not let your emotions dictate your actions, that's your story, and you're the author of it. For example, let's say she greets you with indifference, maybe even acting as if the time apart didn't affect her at all. That's okay, instead of letting frustration or doubt creep in. Channel your inner philosopher. Remind yourself that her feelings are not a reflection of your value, but a reflection of her own journey. Respond with grace, perhaps a light smile, or a thoughtful question about how she's been. Show her that you've grown during this time. Apart, that you've cultivated patience, self-control, and an unwavering sense of inner peace. On the other hand, if she's emotional or even confrontational, don't get swept up in the storm. Picture yourself as a rock in the sea, unmoved by the waves crashing around you. Listen calmly. Acknowledge her feelings if necessary, but maintain that same steady demeanor. It's not about dismissing her emotions, but about demonstrating that you're not here to react to every whim. You're here to communicate from a place of strength and self-awareness. This move, this ability to stay grounded when she expects you to waver, is what she won't expect. Most people react. Most people let their emotions run the show, but not you. You're playing by a different set of rules, now guided by the wisdom of the Stoics and your own sense of self-respect, that calm, confident energy. It's magnetic. It shows her without words that you've done the work, that you're not the same person she might have walked away from or distanced herself from before. So whatever her reaction, remember this: you are in control of your response. Her feelings and actions are hers to manage your peace, your strength, and your ability to remain calm. Under pressure, those are yours to protect, trust me. Nothing is more unexpected and more powerful than a man who knows how to keep his cool no matter what comes his way. Number 10, keep moving. Keep moving forward, and now let me share with you the ultimate move she truly won't see coming. Focusing on yourself in a way that's not about playing games, but about genuinely embracing your own journey. Imagine this while she might be expecting you to come back with a text, a call, or some grand gesture. What she doesn't anticipate is your unwavering commitment to your own growth, your purpose, and your peace of mind. It's not about ignoring her or pretending you don't care. It's about realizing that your life has its own momentum and you're not stopping it for anyone. Here's where Stoicism offers us some timeless wisdom. Marcus Aurelius once said, "You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength in this context. Your mind is your compass. Instead of letting her actions or inactions dictate how you move, you stay true to your path." This isn't about being cold or detached. It's about living with a deep sense of self-respect and purpose. Let me give you an example. Say you've spent weeks in no contact, working on yourself, hitting the gym, focusing on your career, rediscovering hobbies you forgot you loved. She might assume you're doing all this just to win her back. But here's the twist: you're doing it for you. When she reaches out or sees you again, the person she encounters won't be the one she left. She'll find someone who's thriving, someone who's at peace with or without her. This is powerful because it's unexpected. Most people, after no contact, either rush back or try to prove their worth in obvious ways. But when your actions come from a place of genuine self-growth, it's not about proving anything to her. It's about proving to yourself that you're enough, just as you are. That quiet confidence, it's magnetic. And let's be honest, the right people will feel inspired by your journey. They'll either choose to walk alongside you or step away, and you'll know that's okay. As Epicurus said, make the best use of what is in your power and take the rest. As it happens, your power lies in how you show up for yourself every single day. The rest that's not for you to control, so the ultimate move isn't a dramatic display of affection or an elaborate plan to win her over. It's something far simpler and more profound. You choosing to live your life fully, authentically, and unapologetically. Whether she comes back or not, you've already won, because you've become someone you're proud of. And trust me, that is the move she'll never expect. Conclusion in the end. Everything we've discussed boils down to one essential truth. The most powerful move you can make after no contact isn't about impressing her. It's about transforming yourself by focusing on your personal growth, cultivating self-respect, and staying grounded. No matter what, you're creating a version of yourself that's not just attractive, but magnetic. Remember, no contact was never the end game, it was just the beginning. What happens next is entirely in your hands. Approach each step with purpose, patience, and the quiet confidence of someone who knows their worth. Let your actions speak louder than words. Your composure redefine. The narrative and your growth leave a lasting impact, whether she comes back or not. The real win is becoming someone who's at peace with themselves. Now, I'd love to hear your thoughts. What was the biggest takeaway for you in this video? Leave a comment below and let's start a conversation. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to hit that like button and share it with someone who might need this advice. And before you go, check out the recommended videos on screen. They're packed with insights that will help you navigate your relationships and personal growth even further. Thank you for watching, and until next time, keep building your best self. See you in the next video.